Join us for a review of the Mercedes E-Class Coupe facelift. Let's go. In the front of the new E-Class facelift, for all versions you can see there's a new front grille. The design change is more crucial with the sedan and the estate for sure, so coupe and convertible don't look that different, but still a little bit more modern in the style. 4.83 m, 15'8" or 190 inches is the length of the Mercedes E-Class Coupe and also the convertible. So they're both a little bit shorter than the sedan and the estate model. And of course the typical coupe shape is this one here, the falling roofline together with the strong shoulders. And you see, this is a very beautiful car, and I can say that, rather objectively, of course it's always a matter of taste, but the reason for that I want to say, like, in an objective style is there is hardly, playing around with design lines. Look at that, this dropping line here has a round shape, and then it's basically just that one line that goes from the front all the way to the rear, and it gets a little bit stronger here, and that's it. And the most beautiful cars throughout automotive history rather had just one or two simple design lines, and that's also the case for this here. Well, the simplistic shape here also at the rear, beautiful and simple once again. Then coupe and convertible already had horizontally drawn tail lamps. That was so far the unique beauty styling of these. Now they're still updated here with the facelift, and you can see there's a new LED structure inside. It's also better here 2 layers, so this is then the standing light, and there will be then the additional braking light. Coupe and convertible of the Mercedes E-Class do not get the plug-in hybrid versions and do not get the 63 version as top sporty trim. The 53 would be the sportiest model. In general, 2-liter 4-cylinder and 3-liter 6-cylinder, both for petrol and diesel. And now more mild hybrids, so a little bit more electrification definitely throughout the model range. Getting inside here in the coupe, by the way, different suspension. You have base suspension, adaptive suspension, and air suspension. So that's the things you can actually pick from. This is here very close as for the headroom with 1.86 or 6'1" because this car is equipped with the panoramic roof. Interior overview, you can see the horizontal styling of everything, and then very nice curved lines right there. You can already see something even at daylight with the ambient lighting here at the instant of the air vents. So yeah, air vents also all over the place. And once again, the matte wood. And also nice that we have a matte wood in the lower area, not to have so much of the black piano lacquer actually. And again, the new view of the steering wheel also has like this curved line with this interesting gap here in the lower part. Yeah, not sure. I'm not too happy with the styling, and also with a lot of black piano lacquer here again. Yeah, in the AMG line it looks a little bit different, a little bit better, I think. So then the screens starts with 10.25 inch on both sides. This just a small screen, the same bezel done around, but a smaller screen, and this optional 12.3-inch left and right. So it comes always digital, but just in 2 different sizes. You can pick the content you want to see there. For example, you can also put the GPS in the middle, like this, or like this. You can also put it all the way over the screens. This is of course very helpful when navigating. You control it all with your left thumb at the steering wheel, and you can also change the complete style. For example, to understated, this is also possible. It's like a very minimalistic view, for example. Then the main infotainment unit, like this. I can use the lower turning and pressing knob. I can also use a touchpad. I can use a touch screen. This is new now, so the right one is touchscreen, or I can use my right thumb. So many redundant controls. What about the rear? I smell comments. Thomas in the rear seat at timecode. Coming soon. Here automatically slides forward just a little bit, then you can take a first look here at the rear area. That looks quite cozy, not too spacious, but it's also not a small coupe, so let's see if you can also carry some people with it. So let's get inside. You have to fold yourself in, and I'll leave this seat as I would be driving soon. But first of all, as for the headroom, this directly works. When I put my spine up, I do hit the ceiling, and then of course is hard. Now the trunk of the coupe, flip the logo right here to open it. There we go. And of course you have a limited opening, but it's almost the same like with the sedan. Still, it's actually quite long. There's no problem. And also here, normal cabin trolley does fit in here like this, but in a vertical way. Gets close, but still works. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Mercedes E-Class Coupe in this facelifted version. And we're going to fill in with details. What's maybe different, sedan and coupe? How is it if you compare it to competitors? How's the riding in general? Suspension details, definitely talking about that. And of course also, the engine we're driving here, and so on, different driving situations. First of all, we start here with the augmented reality. We have the camera image here, and then it shows me in the sign right there, projected into the camera, where I have to get out of this roundabout. And this is a really helpful feature, especially for roundabouts. I have the map mounted here. I have it also here in the center gauge, and I can really adjust it. At the moment I have it in this round gauge on the right side, but I could also have it in the middle or all the way all over the left screen, so you can also individualize that. However, especially in here with the new touch controls, sometimes you want to control something in the left screen, and then you maybe like slip off with your finger to left and the right, and then suddenly something happens here, and you're like, that's not what I wanted to do. And that again proves my point. This then that wouldn't have happened then when you have the real buttons left. And I think this all works great in theory, but in practical car life, here and there you realize that things are being made a little bit more complicated. The car is very well insulated as for the noise insulation, so it's so super silent in here. That's for the whole E-Class family, that you hardly hear anything, even at higher speeds and so on. So this is really a great job they've done here, noise insulation wise. And now here we go, acceleration of the diesel, 40 kilometers to 100. So that's it, reducing the speed once again. And this was quite powerful, but still it was very calm as for the noise as well. So you see you have a lot of torque in this diesel. Blind spot monitor here as well. When I'm hitting the turning indicators at the same time, we also get this acoustic warning, not only the visual one, and also the assistance systems here now on this little bit faster road, 80 kilometers an hour. Here we go, and I set the speed here and the new touch controls, because the speed camera is always there. So, and then lane keeping assist, capacitive steering wheel now, so that means the car realizes I have my hands on the steering wheel just by touching it. I don't need to give a steering command. And the car is also keeping me here inside the lane. You can see here, of course, not meant to be that you, oh yes, yeah, give it to me, baby. Kids. So you can see here, and again, car is being kept in the lane. So that's well done. As for the assistance system, and also the cruise control, adaptive cruise control, is keeping distance to that truck then in front of me. So the assistance system have been upgraded here. Also, once again, we're driving a little bit faster now. It's like nothing. It's like rolling speed with a normal vehicle, because it always stays silent here. And even if you drive way faster, it will still be super silent. It's one of the best motorway vehicles. No matter if you go for the sedan or for the coupe or whatever, all E-Class definitely, that is one of the core elements of this vehicle. So as for driving, maybe then it's a little bit stiffer with the base suspension here now. Other than that, the facelift changes more about the MBUX system you finally have done here. This is definitely a very good addition. And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes E-Class Coupe here as the facelifted version. First of all, yeah, I think really the most beautiful E-Class there is, with this typical coupe shape, and of course even more in brilliant blue, aka Thomas Blue. With the facelift, of course, the front changed, but I think it looks sportier than before, definitely. The coupe and the convertible already looked sleek at the rear with the tail lamps, but now a little bit more modern style here as well. Well, then the interior changes, a little bit more digitalization, the new MBUX system in the recent iteration. That's, I think, a very good change. The steering wheel here, I mean, yeah, the AMG version looks a little bit better, I think, than the standard one. And you have the new capacitive buttons, for example. 4 capacitive buttons, they give a very good feedback, yes, and it's also very easy to control. So the logic behind the controls has not changed that much. Still, I was more a fan of the physical knobs we had before. What's your take on that? In general, this vehicle is, of course, for a coupe already quite large, so it's not the most versatile one, but it's one of the most comfortable coupes there on the market. So you have this very calm and sovereign riding style you have or know from the sedan, here in this coupe shape. Well, suspension-wise, you can really fine-tune which riding comfort you want to have. Different suspensions to pick from, talked about that. And then you can really vary if you want it a little bit sportier or if you want it a little bit more air carpet ride, for example, and once again, with the air suspension. So, and then also electrification for the engines. Not then, of course, here for the 6-cylinder diesel. That's one of the exceptions for that. And of course, at a later stage, we can also drive different engine versions for you. The most powerful engine here is the 53. No plans to put a 63 in a coupe or convertible. You can also tune in to more reviews we have of the Mercedes E-Class. Will be linked in the video description and in the pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed this one here today. Stay with us. Please subscribe if you haven't done so far. And see you next time.